Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have a very different video that I never done on my channel because I tried so much makeup in 2023. Of course, there were some really good hits and then some really not so good hits. And I was like, I actually have quite a list of products that I really did not enjoy in 2023. So why not make it a video and share why I didn't like it and really just get a conversation going about these products. I do want to say that just because a product does not work out for me doesn't mean it won't work for you, so definitely keep that in mind. We're gonna go through some of the products that I tried in 2023 that just weren't it for me. So grab a snack, grab something to drink, and let's get into it. I'm gonna put up photos on the screen because some of these products I no longer have, so I don't want to just show you guys some and not all of them. So did declutter just about almost all of these products that I tried because I'm the kind of person that loves to declutter as I go. I don't like to keep the makeup in my collection knowing I'm not gonna touch it. I'd rather declutter it and give it to someone else or just get rid of it, First product is the Huda Beauty Pressed Powder. I actually had really high hopes for this, and unfortunately this product did not work out for me. The biggest thing for me was that it had luminosity to it, and anything here that has luminosity is not flattering. It emphasizes texture and it just does not look good. I really felt like if this powder did not have the luminosity to it, it would have been a hit. But now I don't see anyone talk about the powder. We don't really hear much about it, and a lot of it is because of the luminosity. And the way that it was marketed was that it was exactly the same like the loose version, and the loose version is such a cult favorite to where it's like, we're expecting it to be similar, right? If you guys want to see an application of it or you guys just want to see how it looked on me, definitely go and check out that video. It is up on my channel. The next product is the Juvia's Place lip oils. These are like cooking grease. I did not like them. I feel like when it comes to thinner lip oils that almost feel like cooking oil, they don't last long on the lips and they make my lips a lot drier than when I first applied the lip oil, So these are just really thin to where they don't really coat the lips and really lock in that moisture in the lips. That's why I'm such a fan of thicker lip oils or thicker lip products, because I feel like they last longer and they really do coat the lips to add that hydration. Just wasn't a fan of these. I did love the smell of them though, because whatever flavor you picked up, it smelled just like it, which was a great touch. But the formula just wasn't it for me. Another product from Juvia's Place that I just wasn't a fan of was the cream bronzers. Now, I tried this out and I was like, okay, I like the finish of this bronzer, but I realized that there was like a type of pearl in the bronzer that gave it kind of like sparkly specks on the face. It's not glitter, but it sparkles that you could see on the face. So I guess it kind of is like glitter, but those are just like the pearl particles that were in the product. I feel like if the shade range was a little bit bigger and the undertones were a lot more different, and if there wasn't that pearl in those cream bronzers, that would have been such a good formula. It dried down to a soft matte finish, which I love, and I just felt like that bronzer really had a lot of potential. But for me, it was the pearl specks in it, and then also, the undertones weren't great. I ended up bringing that shade back and exchanging it for a different shade, and that shade didn't work for me. So I was just hoping for a little bit more bronze in the line, and a lot of them leaned a lot more cool toned, contour-y. That's why that product didn't work out for me, but that is okay. Everything's not gonna work out. This product right here, the e.l.f. Tin Pan Eyeshadow Palettes, I actually still have this in my collection. I'm holding on to it because I'm planning on doing an all about e.l.f. video soon, so I am holding on to that. But for me, it was the chunky shimmers. The mattes were okay. I feel like e.l.f. has a lot of hit and miss eyeshadow palettes. Some eyeshadow palettes are really good, and some are just like, okay. They're okay. They're not like the best at the drugstore, but they're decent for the price. And these shadows are $10, so they're like essentially $1 a shadow. So they're not horrible. And if you're just getting into makeup and you really wanted to play around with these, then this would be a great place to start if you don't really want to spend a lot of money. e.l.f. is always a great, safe, staple brand to start with if you're just starting out with makeup, or you really want to experiment with certain steps in your makeup routine that you're really not the best at. e.l.f. has you covered with literally every product you could imagine. But for me, and because I'm so well versed in eyeshadows and eyeshadow formula, this one just was not good. It wasn't good enough for me to be like, oh my God, you have to stay in my collection. I love you, you know? Only holding on to it for research purposes because I am planning on doing a video. But after that video, I may declutter it. I just know myself, and it's not an eyeshadow palette that I would reach for. Next up was very disappointing. Makeup Forever Concealer. One of the creasiest concealers I've ever tried, and that makes me so sad to say because we all know how much of a fan I am of Makeup Forever. Like, I love me some Makeup Forever, okay? Especially their foundation. So I was like, I love the foundation so much. It's a holy grail. I've gone through multiple bottles, and I'm like, okay, you guys are coming out with the concealer version of this foundation. I'm going to love this. And I ended up hating it because it creased on me so bad. Like, I know concealers are, like, some concealers crease, and, you know, I can deal with that. This one creased within an hour of wearing it. It looked so bad. I've never had a concealer crease on me as fast as that one. It was a very, you know, buildable formula. Definitely on the very light to light medium coverage. Was not a fan of that concealer. It made me very sad. Like I said, not everything's gonna work. Next product I did not enjoy, that I still don't understand the hype on, but hey, you guys like a buildable blush, then this one's for you. These are the Dior blushes, and I was really excited to buy these. Very expensive blush, but I just really did not get the price tag for the amount of pigment you got, if that makes sense. I feel like these were more of a $25 blush as opposed to like a $40 blush. You know what I mean? It wasn't a horrible blush formula, but I just could not justify the quality of what I was getting for the price. And that was the biggest thing for me. I just was not vibing with this blush. Did not understand the hype. I understand wanting a blush that has like a satiny kind of glow to it. And there are other blushes on the market that give you that, but for me with this one, I just was like, I just was not a fan. I just wasn't a fan. Another blush that did not work out for me was the NARS Afterglow liquid blushes. And the reason why these didn't work for me was that they did not give any pigment. They sheared out to absolutely nothing. Nothing. So this was another blush. I was like, what's the point of having it in my collection if it doesn't show up on me? This is the deepest shade that they came out with in the line, and I'm like, what's the point? But I did see that they just expanded the shade range and they came out with deeper blushes. Will I give it another try? I don't know if I will. If you like these blushes, because I do know a couple people who do like these blushes, and you did feel like it was a little bit too sheer for you, they did launch deeper blushes, so that might work out better for you. Don't know. Taking a break from blushes, because I do have another blush I want to talk about that I just wasn't a fan of, but let's go ahead and get into, I'm like looking down because I have a list. The next product is the Milk Makeup Setting Powder. This one baffles me. This one baffles me so much. The only thing that this powder did for me was set my makeup. It did not blur my makeup. It did not help control the oils of my makeup. All it did was just set it. And I've never tried a powder where it didn't really like blur. I've seen a lot of people love this powder, and I just am like, did I do something wrong with this powder? Did I apply it wrong? What's happening to where people are loving this powder? But I do feel like this powder, even though it's a part of the Eclipse line from Milk, and the Eclipse line is supposed to be geared towards oily skin, I do feel like this powder is way more suited for people who have dry to normal skin, because if you have oily skin, I didn't feel like this powder controlled your oils or really blurred. I have also noticed that a lot of people who do like this powder have dry skin types. So that is very interesting to keep in mind. That's very interesting to keep in mind. I just wasn't a fan of it. If you have oily skin, if you want a really, really good setting powder recommendation, highly recommend the Ami Colé, the Lunar Beauty, or the Dominique Cosmetics powder. Or if you want a pressed version of a good oil controlling powder, definitely check out the NARS Soft Matte Pressed Powder. Really good. Top tier. Next product is a product I really forgot about, but only because it came out so early in the year. This is the KVD Good Apple Foundation. I have not seen a lot of people talk about since it came out, which made me forget about it myself. But the reason why this one didn't work out for me is that this one oxidized like crazy. When I went to the store, I had every intention on getting a different shade, you know, a lighter shade, in hopes that it would oxidize to something closer to my skin tone. But none of my Ultas sell KVD in store, which I don't think I've been to an Ulta recently that sold KVD. I feel like KVD isn't really in Ulta stores anymore, which is crazy. So I was like, I am not about to take the risk online and try to figure out what's gonna be my shade. So I just ended up returning it and just was like, you know, just forget about it, because I was not about to go through the trouble. Another foundation that I have in my collection that I do love, and it oxidizes, is the Charlotte Tilbury. But I feel like because Charlotte Tilbury is in Sephora, you can go in there, you can really try out the shades, wear them out, come back in, find your, you know, figure out which one works for you. I couldn't really do that with the KVD. So next product that did not work out for me was the NYX Cosmetics Freeze Primer. This primer, I will say it did blur, but I didn't really feel like the cooling sensation or anything like that it was kind of advertised as. And I know some people said you had to put it in like the fridge. That's a lot of work. Like, who wants to go put their stuff in the fridge and then go grab it and then apply it every time? The only reason why I'm saying that is because I have tried cooling primers that did not need to be in the fridge. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing. I do have a skincare fridge, which I need to put it in here. I have not plugged it in a while. Next thing that was very disappointing was the Refi Cream bronzers. Okay, this shade range, atrocious. Refi, what are you doing? This year, we better see some expanded shade ranges from Refi, especially in these bronzers, because the formula had potential. It kind of had like a moussey kind of texture to it, but the shade was just off. It did have potential, but I feel like it definitely could be revamped a little bit. Since they're in Sephora, I do hope that is even more reason for them to have to expand their shade range. I don't know, but a girl can hope. And then the last product I wanted to share that did not work out for me, unfortunately, was the Pat McGrath Cream Blush Sticks. That one hurt really, really bad. When I hear balm, I think grease. And that's kind of what it was giving for me. It kind of looked a little bit greasy-like on my skin, and it just did not work out for me, especially with oily skin. I just feel like that was just a product that was not geared for me. So that is it for some of my least favorite products I tried in 2023. Let me know your thoughts down below. I've tried so many more products that didn't work out for me, but these were the products I was like, you know, let's just talk about them. Let me just share my thoughts on them. Let me know if you guys want to see this again in 2024. That way I'll make sure to keep my list organized. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.